the resilient economy of India and the kind of diversification strategy of GCC as well as India, combined with the encouraging demographics, is supporting the business environment. And we are seeing some kind of a close relationship from the highest level of the leadership. And that has been sort of encouraging investments of GCC to India and the Indian investments also in GCC in various sectors. And I think what we saw during that tariff also, that we will see a lot of supply chain readjustments. And I think that GCC or UAE India corridor will be a big beneficiary of that.
Indeed, and you mentioned this comes from the top. It certainly does. We've seen Prime Minister Modi visiting the UAE some 7 times since 2015. And I was also looking at some recent data that shows the activity that the Gulf sovereign wealth funds have been having in India as well. Clearly a new and interesting space for them. We've seen the Gulf sovereign funds pouring about $35 to $40 billion into India in the past decade. So how significant is that for the India Gulf investment corridor more broadly? And for Kotak, which has about $100 billion in assets, what do you think the opportunity is?
I think we always talk about the large diaspora and the proximity of India to the GCC nations. Yes, it's there, but yes, what you mentioned takes it to the next level, that the sovereign wealth fund, which is one of the biggest investors in the world, are looking at India and are increasing their India allocation. Both as the foreign direct investments as well as the institutional investments. And there is a huge scope for the investments in either in the healthcare, education, e-commerce, communication, technology, with the kind of backdrop that India has. I see the investments will increase a lot. On the other hand, yes, it's an important news that an Indian fund manager has been granted a license in ASCA that will open up the UAE market for the manager, and especially to get the NRIs investments and get the investments in more sticky funds and sticky money into the Indian equities and Indian fixed income markets as well. So I think this is going to increase a lot. On the back of that, yes, the NRI, the non-resident Indians, would like to invest in India through those investment avenues. But I see much more happening on the foreign direct investments from both the sides.
Indeed, the FDI has continued to grow, and at a more local level, this is also a diaspora play. I mentioned before that Indians make up about 35% of the population here in the UAE. So, Faisal, given the growing investment ties, would it be reasonable to expect that more funds will potentially follow suit?
I definitely think so. We will see many more funds will set up base. If you look at generally in the UAE, in the DIFC and ADGM, many of the Indian fund managers are already there. So they are already sort of marketing their products in the DIFC or in the ADGM. But getting the ESCA, which is the onshore mainland license, is very important so that they can get access to a bigger audience and a bigger investor base. So I'll see this will sort of spur other investment managers to secure UAE licenses, and we'll see much more investment services, investment products, especially catering to the Indian markets, investing in India to come in near future.